So today we're going to be learning about points, lines, and planes. That's your unit title, so you're going to put points, lines, and planes in that section right here. Go ahead and write in the numbers 1-1 and 1-2. Those are the sections of the chapter we'll be covering today. I'd like you to set up your notes page so that the 3/4 of the top space are reserved for this video. This bottom space down here, the quarter that you're reserving, you'll be using that space in the other videos. So 3/4 of the space is what we're going to be filling in today. Okay, so let's get started. Underneath your title, I'd like you to copy this statement. Geometry was built up from a set of 3 very important undefined terms. That means these are terms without definition, terms that they assume we know. With these terms, proofs of theorems, definitions, and pretty much everything we know about geometry was deduced. So these are 3 very important vocabulary words. Okay, beneath this paragraph, I'd like you to draw kind of a small triangle. And down here, we're going to symbolize, this is the bottom, that these are those 3 terms. And from those 3 terms, they've built up all of geometry. So I want you to think back to 7th grade, pre-algebra, even algebra, anything that you can remember that is geometry. First thing that comes to my mind is the area of a rectangle is base times height, or that the line degrees, the degree of a line is 180 degrees. I want you to think of 3 things. They can be anything really, and I'd like you to put those 3 things inside the top of this triangle. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is in that top 3/4 of your notes is we're going to be filling in this table, and we'll be looking at those undefined terms, the point, the line, and the plane. What I'd like you to do is go ahead and pause the video and copy down this table, and then I'll be going through each of these, the description, the written as, and the example on the following slides, and you'll just know to put it in the according spaces. All right, here we go. Okay, let's get started with a point. How could we describe a point? A point is maybe a dot, maybe it's a coordinate. And the way that we write it, it's written in the form, let's call this point A. Okay, point A looks like this. It's just a floating point with the letter capital A there. It's really important that you notice it's all capital A's. So it's described as a dot or a coordinate. It's written as point A, and this is an example of it. Okay, now let's describe a line. Okay, a line is, it extends in both directions, and it has no ending points. So without any ending points, it just continues on and on and on. And how is it written? I'm going to give you 3 options here. One is 2 capital letters, A, B. Now hold on. I don't want that period there. Could be like this, and there's one more that I'm going to write in. So here's how this looks. Let me draw it in your example. So let's say you have point A, and you have a point B, and you have your line that extends in both directions without ending. And here's how I could write it. Now, it has an A and a B on it, so I could write it as line AB. Notice that little arrow there, big arrow. Line BA. Or I could put a curly L there, cursive L, and call this line L. All 3 of those work. Okay, lastly, let's describe a plane. Okay. A plane is, it's like a floor or a wall, or maybe the top of a table, but it extends, again, without ending. Oh, without ending. Okay, and how is it written? This one's kind of like a point. You name it plane, and then we'll give this one a capital letter F. So this will be plane F. And the way that you would draw a plane is it looks kind of like a parallelogram. In fact, it almost always is a parallelogram. and then you put the capital letter F in the corner.